bow our heads and as we close our eyes, let's just take a moment to just reflect on his presence, to feel God's wonderful embrace. The Bible says to be still and know that he's God. Father, we thank you so much for the privilege of presence. Father, we thank you that you're an omnipresent God, that you're everywhere, and that you're God all by yourself. God, often we allow the busyness of the world to disrupt our hearts and our minds, and we allow anxiety and the cares and concerns of this world to prevent your word from being planted on solid ground. But God, you said if we be still and know that you are God, that you'll soothe our thoughts, you'll calm our fears. And so God, we just thank you for just being able to hear you in our silence. Father, let the words of my mouth, the meditation of my heart be acceptable in thy sight. God, you are my rock, my strength, and my redeemer. Amen. Amen. As we give all glory to God, we certainly need to celebrate our youth and children for pointing us to God today. All glory belongs to God, and we celebrate with our youth and children for certainly pointing us to God. Amen. I believe I saw Malcolm's daughter's ushering. Amen. They saying got one of them. Amen. Amen. So I thought I saw a couple of new ushers. Amen. All right, so we just want to praise God for them. Amen. Now, Reverend BJ and I have running text conversations on Sunday morning. Amen. And he's always texting, Pastor, I'll be running a little late. Pastor, I'll be running a little late. So going back to what he said, I told him, don't text me when you're going to be late. Text me when you're going to be on time. Amen. If you'll join me in 1 Kings, 3rd chapter. 1 Kings, the 3rd chapter. And I want to begin reading verse 6. 1 Kings 3, verse 6. Today I'm reading from the New King James Version. Solomon said, you have shown great mercy to your servant David, my father, because he walked before you in truth, in righteousness, and in uprightness of heart with you. You have continued this great kindness for him, and you have given him a son to sit on his throne as it is this day. Now, Lord my God, you have made your servant king instead of my father David. But I am a little child. I do not know how to go out or come in. And your servant is in the midst of your people whom you have chosen, a great people, too numerous to be numbered or counted. Therefore, give to your servant an understanding heart, to judge your people, that I may discern between good and evil. For who is able to judge this great people of yours? Speech pleased the Lord that Solomon had asked this thing. And then God said to him, because you have asked this thing and have not asked long life for yourself, nor have asked riches for yourself, nor have asked the life of your enemies, but have asked for yourself understanding to discern justice. Behold, God says to Solomon, I have done according to your words. See, I have given you a wise and an understanding heart. so that there has not been anyone like you before, nor shall any like you arise after. The key verse is verse 13, and it says, and I have also given you what you have not asked for, both riches and honor, so that there shall not be anyone like you among the kings all your days. And I place emphasis on the A part of verse 13. And I have also given you what you have not asked for. I want to talk about unasked blessings. Unasked blessings. Have you ever considered the unasked blessings in your life? Have you ever taken a moment to reflect on the things or the areas in your life God has blessed and you didn't even ask? Have you ever taken a moment simply to meditate, or have you ever taken a praise break to thank God for the things he simply gave that you didn't even ask for? Songwriter says he looks beyond our fault, supplies us with the things that we need. Have you ever thought about the fact that we think we know what we need? We think we know what we want, and we go to God in prayer for the things that we want and need, and God gives us something we didn't ask for. And then on reflection, we realize that what we were asking for is really not what we needed. But that thing we didn't ask for that God gave us is really what we did need. Have you ever taken a moment, my brothers and sisters, to think about the fact, quite often, we hear people in church talk about the prayers that have been answered. And that's very striking, and we should offer encouragement to other people. We ought to testify. Listen, I was pleading with the Lord in prayer, asking the Lord to give this to me in prayer. And guess what? The Lord answered our prayer. We ought to testify to that. We ought to let people know that we prayed for this and God answered the prayer, right? That's something we ought to do. But have you ever thought about the answers to prayers that you have received for prayers that you never prayed? Yeah, what about the answers you've received? What about the blessings you've received? What about the things God gave you for prayers that you never prayed? Listen, it's very profound, my brothers and sisters, if we would simply think about it. Listen, the fact of the matter is, there are more blessings that we have received from God that we didn't ask for than we did ask for. As a matter of fact, many of us would not have as many pity parties if we would do like the song says, and we ought to sing it more than just Thanksgiving. Count your blessings. Name them one by one, and if you actually counted the blessings, you'll realize 8 out of 10 are blessings you didn't ask for, you didn't deserve, you didn't call out to God for. God simply gave you what you didn't ask him for. Somebody ought to pray with me here today. Listen, I know Jesus says that if you ask, it shall be given. Seek, ye shall find. Knock, and the door shall be opened. But what about when you didn't ask? When you didn't seek? And you certainly didn't knock at the door. But yet God did it anyway. Somebody's going to catch up to this in a minute. So I don't have to get happy all by myself. Because I wake up sometime in the morning and all of a sudden, listen, you need to understand something. With God, walking with God every moment is like Christmas. You remember those Christmases when you write out your Christmas list about all the things you want, but then you realize there's a gift in there that you didn't even ask for. And it wound up a lot of times being the one that you enjoy the most, that one you didn't even ask for. Because the fact of the matter is, if I ask you for it and you give it to me, I appreciate it. But if you have the thought to go out and get something for me that I didn't even ask for, and it's more tailor-made for me than what I asked for. Solomon, my friends, shows us how to attract the blessings that we didn't ask for. Now, what did Solomon ask for? We see that Solomon asked for wisdom, right? Yeah. And understand that there are 6 interrelated dimensions of biblical wisdom. Our children and our youth covered this first one in their song. There are 6 interrelated dimensions of biblical wisdom. Solomon asked for wisdom. Wisdom has a worship dimension. The Bible says the fear of the Lord is the starting place for wisdom. If you don't worship the real God, you're not wise according to Scripture. Young people, Solomon in his old age specifically addresses young people. In Ecclesiastes 12:1, he says, remember now your Creator in the days of your youth. Listen, I know you're getting educated. I know you're going to school. I want you to keep going through school. But understand that the fear of the Lord, worshiping the one and only true God, is the beginning of wisdom. And as you go through school, you'll find that our schools of higher education will try to get you to disbelieve in God. But understand your belief in God is what's going to enable you to make it through school. It's going to enable you to get financial aid that you didn't even ask for. Wisdom has a worship dimension, but then wisdom has an insight dimension. Amen. Wise people have insight into spiritual truth, and that's something Solomon asked for. Wisdom has a discernment dimension. In other words, you're able to read into a situation and make the right decision. Solomon was saying, I don't just want knowledge. All right. Because there's a difference between knowledge and wisdom. As a matter of fact, Paul deals with the spiritual maturity of spiritual discernment when he prays and says that we would grow in knowledge, in understanding, and wisdom. Understand, knowledge is head knowledge. Understanding is being able to actually understand that head knowledge. But wisdom is the ability to take that knowledge and understanding and apply it to situations in life. There are a whole lot of educated fools because they're not able to take their knowledge and understanding and apply it to decisions in their life. Wisdom has a moral dimension. The writer of Proverbs, my brothers and sisters, says that when it comes to the moral dimension of wisdom, it literally means, and Solomon even says this to young people in Ecclesiastes, Solomon says, this moral dimension requires discretion. And for all of us, what it literally means is wisdom means that we don't go all out in everything. We only go all out for God. Amen. Somebody talk to me in this place. And not only does it have a moral dimension, but wisdom has a justice element. In other words, wisdom says we always, like God, want to do what's fair and what's right by people. But then wisdom, my friends, has a skill dimension. And what we mean by that is, especially when it comes to the art and the craft of ministry, wisdom simply says that whatever we put our hands to do for God, we do it with all our heart. Now, Solomon's request in verses 5 through 9 deals with wisdom, right? But then we notice, moving forward, my friends, that Solomon winds up. God says, listen, Solomon, you asked for this wisdom. You asked for this wisdom according to my word. But now he said, listen what, Solomon, since you asked me for this, I'm going to give you what you didn't ask for. All right. I'm going to give you riches, honor, and a great name. It's very interesting in Matthew 6 as Jesus is dealing with anxiety. And one of the things that we do in the kingdom of God, and when we read our Bibles, we often read our Bibles disconnected. Our schools teach us to read stories disconnected, but we need to understand that when we read any part of the Bible, we should not read it disconnected. when we read 1 Kings chapter 3, we ought to want to have our minds run to Matthew chapter 6. Because in Matthew chapter 6, Jesus is dealing with worry and anxiety, right? And then when he talks about seeing the lilies of the field, how they are clothed, right? He's making reference to the fact that when Solomon was king, Jesus is making reference to Solomon. When Solomon was king, Solomon was dressed in all his royal regalia. Solomon was the one who taught about not having anxiety in life. In Ecclesiastes, he looked back and said, listen, I was worried, I was toiling over everything under the sun. I realized it was vanity. And so Jesus goes to Solomon and says, listen, just like Solomon was arrayed in all his royal regalia, look at the lilies of the field. They are clothed in all my glorious regalia, and they did not even ask for it. So then Jesus goes on and says, seek ye first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and the things you don't even need to ask for. Somebody gonna praise God. The things you didn't listen. Often we ask God for stuff we don't need to ask God for. Right. He said, if you seek me and my righteousness, all these things will simply be added unto you without even asking for them. That's an illustration of what took place in the life of Solomon. Solomon, when he got a request of God, sought first the kingdom. And because he sought first the kingdom, he had some stuff added to him, right, that he didn't ask for. So, my friends, I want you to consider the unasked blessings of nature. None of us really ask or praise for rain. We don't ask or pray for sunshine. We don't ask and pray for wind. But the Bible says that it rains on the just and the unjust. None of us ask for fall and winter and spring and summer to come in their desired order, but they naturally come for our benefit. None of us ask for the earth to rotate on its axis in a 24-hour cycle, for the sun to come up, for the sun to go down, for the moon to come up at night. None of us ask for that, but it benefits us. There are some unasked benefits of nature. As a matter of fact, the Bible says, well, the heavens declare the glory of God. Listen, my brothers and sisters, if you don't have any reason to praise God, just look at the unasked blessings of nature. Look at when I'm jogging early in the morning and the moon is up and the moon sky is clear. There's no smog and I can see the glory of the moon. And it makes me, when I'm jogging, want to praise God. Because only God can make a moon look like that. Y'all not going to pray with me here today. It's an unasked blessing. And then as I'm going around and the sun begins to rise and begins to blind my eyes and I got to put my shades on. That's an unasked blessing. To see the purity of the sun. Consider the unasked blessings of nature. But then consider the unasked blessings of providence. By definition, providential blessings are blessings you can't ask for. Because that word providence is made up of two words, provideo. Literally meaning God sees to it beforehand. So if God sees to it beforehand, your asking has nothing to do with it. Right. The Bible says before the foundation of the world that the Lamb was slain. Salvation is a blessing you didn't ask for because none of this was here when it was provided. Abraham, when he and Isaac went up on the mountain to worship and to pray, Abraham said, I'm going to sacrifice my son. Abraham said, we're both going to come back. Abraham had no idea there's going to be a lamb caught in the thicket. That was an unasked blessing. And some of y'all need to understand that you got a testimony in your life.
Amen.
When God provided something for you beforehand. Matter of fact, you was trying to go left.
Yeah.
God said go right. And God made you go right even though you wanted to go left. And when you went right, you realized what God had for you was on the right-hand side, even though you was trying to go left. You didn't ask for that. God, by his providence, simply provided that for you and I. The wonderful unasked blessings of providence. Then thirdly, the unasked blessings of grace. Understand also, by biblical definition of grace, is something, my brothers and sisters, that we don't deserve. And my friend, the gift of salvation is God's greatest gift of an unasked blessing. As a matter of fact, the Bible says Jesus came unto his own, and his own received him not. All of us are born in sin and shapen in iniquity. We want everything but God. We want houses and land. We want silver and gold. We want a good husband. We want a good wife. We want a good job. We want a good retirement. Somebody talk to me. We want to ask for everything but God. Listen, don't think of the things you didn't get after praying. Think of the countless blessings God gave you without asking. Think about those unexpected answers. Think about those unasked prayers. Think about the times when you were surprised by the unexpected graces of God. Listen, even though the Old Testament prophets prophesied about the coming of the Messiah, they didn't see him coming when he came. And the fact of the matter is, the greatest unasked blessing is the gift of salvation offered through Jesus Christ. Listen, there was a couple. I was dating. The young man told the young lady, listen, I'm going to take you out for a very special dinner. I want you to get dressed up. We're going to go out to eat. They went out to eat. Pulled her seat out. She sat down. He sat down. He placed a big box in the center of the table. It was an elaborate box. The whole time they were eating dinner, she was trying to think about what's in the box. Matter of fact, she was so concerned about what's in the box, wanting to know what was inside, she couldn't hardly eat. Because she was waiting to open the box. It was killing her. And he told her, you can open the box after dinner. All through dinner, the box is all she talked about. She talked about the food, she talked about the service. All she talked about was the box. Finally, they finished eating dinner. He told her she could open the box. When she opened the box, there was a pillow. She said, all right. It's a nice pillow. She flipped the pillow over because she thought maybe there might be something taped on the bottom of the pillow. And so she turned and she looked at him and said, it's all right pillow. He stood up, he took the pillow. He put it down on the ground. He got down on his knees. He asked her to marry him. She didn't go for the ring or the pillow. Because at that moment, not the ring or the pillow mattered, only the one who gave the pillow. If you want an unasked blessing from God, love his heart more than his hand.
Right.
Solomon sought the heart of God as opposed to the hand of God. If you want an unasked blessing, spend some time with God. When you don't want nothing, just love him for who he is. Love him for what he is. If you want to receive from God and get an unasked blessing, fall in love with the gift. And not just the gift. Doors of the church are open. I offer you the gift of a son. It is an unasked blessing. Unasked blessing. The Lamb was slain before the foundation of the world. You don't have to ask, seek, or knock. It is a free gift. If you're thirsty, come and drink for free. If you're hungry, come and eat for free. Jesus paid it on Calvary's cross. And so as we stand all over the building, we pray, we would love for someone to give their heart to Christ today. As we extend this invitation for you to be welcomed into the kingdom and the family of God.